and wound up hanging on the drying rack beside the moose. Another year, we spent a month trapping beaver at the base of the south slope of the Brooks Range. We were in the woods through all of a bitterly cold February, sharing a small canvas tent, sleeping on top of spruce boughs and using birch bark to start the morning fire. In my mind's eye, I still see the Jimmy Huntington of that magic time, moving ahead on his snowshoes, axe in hand, utterly at home in the wilderness, happy as a man can be. Anyone who knows me knows that my teenage daughter Slim is the light of my life. And one of my devout wishes for her is that sometime in her life she comes to know as solid and singular a human being as Jimmy Huntington. Gregory Frank Cook. Chapter 1. My Mother. My mother was Athabascan, born around 1875 in a little village at the mouth of the Hogatsa River, a long day's walk north of the Arctic Circle. The country was wild enough. Blizzards and 60 below cold all the winter months, and floods when the ice tore loose in spring, swamping the tundra with spongy muskegs so that a man might travel down the rivers, but could never make a summer portage of more than a mile or so between them. And the people matched the land. From the earliest time in Alaska, there had been bad feeling between Indian and Eskimo, and here the two lived close together, forever stirring each other to anger and violence. If an Indian lost his bearings and tracked the caribou past the divide that separated the two hunting grounds, his people would soon be preparing a potlatch to his memory, for he was almost sure to be shot or ground-sluiced, and his broken body left for the buzzards. Naturally, this worked both ways. Then, in the 1890s, prospectors found gold to the west, on the Seward Peninsula, and the white man came tearing through. Mostly, he was mean as a wounded grizzly. He never thought twice about cheating or stealing from the native people, or even killing a whole family if he needed their dog team. Anything to get to Nome and the gold on those beaches. And once, through 2 winters and a summer, my mother, who looked like a child and weighed less than 90 pounds, walked 1,000 miles across this desperate land to get back to her home and her 2 children. Her name was Anna, and her father was a native trader. All year he traded among his own people. Then, with the first long days of March, he would make his way down the Hogatsa to the head of the Dakili River, the divide between the Eskimo and the Indian lands, and there he would meet Shillakuk, the Eskimo trader. This was permitted because each needed things that only the other had, and it was the only known peaceful contact between the 2 races. As soon as Anna was old enough, she began to accompany her father on these trips, and so she learned the Eskimo language. They would load up the sled with their goods and set off toward the Dakili, a 5-day trek for a good strong dog team, and make camp on the south slope of the Boundary Hills. This was as far as it was safe to go. On the other side, Shillakuk the Eskimo would be making his way south along the Selawik River, and the great trading ritual was about to begin. In all the years that Anna went with her father, it never changed. First, the old man would walk, alone and unarmed, to the top of the divide. He carried only a long pole. If he saw no sign of the Eskimo trader, he would stick his pole straight up in the snow and return to camp. Every day that it was not storming, he walked back up the long hill, looking to see if a second pole had been stuck in the snow alongside his. That was the sign that Shillakuk had arrived, and that trading would begin the next good day. Then my mother would help pull the sled up the hill. They could not use the dogs, for the 2 teams would have fought to the death, and they would lay everything out.